If Terence Crawford moves up to fight Canelo, it's going to be a worse fight than fucking Charlo running around Canelo by murder against Crawford. That shit wouldn't happen. They have weight classes for a reason.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are gearing up for a highly anticipated clash around the Cinco de Mayo weekend. While Crawford faces the formidable challenge of his Mexican opponent, he also has to contend with the loud voices of his critics. Doubt is nothing new to Crawford, but this time the stakes are higher than ever. Many boxing professionals are urging him not to risk his perfect record in a fight they believe could end in his first defeat.
For Canelo, they want to see it.
Crawford cares about his life, and with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo? Fighting Crawford, and Crawford beats Canelo. What did that do for Canelo?
Roy Jones, widely regarded as one of the most dominant boxers of his time, remains actively engaged in supporting the next generation of boxing stars. Among these talents, Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez stand out as two of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the sport today. The prospect of a potential matchup between these two champions has ignited excitement and captured the attention of boxing fans across the world.
I think that there are so many other fights to make that's realistic and makes sense, and less life risking on top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with God.
Terence Crawford, a 4-division world champion, has shown interest in taking on Canelo Alvarez, the reigning super middleweight king. However, the weight difference between the two fighters presents a major challenge for Crawford as he considers stepping up to face the Mexican superstar. In an interview with Mill City Boxing, while praising Crawford's talent and skills, the legendary boxer leaned toward Canelo as the favorite. I like Terence, but I'm going to lean towards Canelo with his size early. But if he lets Terence get into the fight, Terence is going to be a problem if Terence can deal with the size. You will beat him the role of striking. Howard Jones Jr. emphasized the importance of Canelo's punching power as a decisive factor in the fight. That's exactly what I'm saying. We won't know until we see Terence get hit because we haven't seen him face that kind of power, Roy Jones Jr. explained. That's the deciding factor. If you can make Bud change his fight plan, you've got a chance to beat him. But if you can't hurt him, you can't change his fight plan and you've got problems. This analysis highlights Crawford's need to neutralize Canelo's renowned power. If Crawford can effectively utilize his technical skills and avoid Canelo's devastating punches, he could potentially pull off a historic upset. While the potential fight between Canelo and Crawford remains a dream scenario for fans, Canelo Alvarez is currently focused on preparing for his next bout with Beat-Him.
If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if he gets the win. Like
International Boxing Federation interim champion William Scholes has been considered as a potential opponent. However, this wasn't always the case for Roy Jones Jr. The Hall of Fame fighter, current promoter, trainer, and respected analyst had previously shared scenarios where he saw both Terence Crawford and David Benavidez beating Alvarez. Before revising his prediction, Jones started with David Benavidez, stating, "It's a tough fight to call because Benavidez throws a lot of punches. Sometimes power can change the outcome and make it a different situation," Jones said in an interview with BoxingScene.com. The real question is whether Canelo is willing to take the risk. At this point, I don't think he feels he has a compelling reason to, especially if he can't hurt Benavidez early in the first 3 or 4 rounds. Without that early advantage, I don't see him winning that fight. Two-time 168-pound teatless David Benavidez has been pushing for a shot at Alvarez for the past 2 years. Meanwhile, former welterweight champion Terence Crawford is open to moving up 2 weight classes for the chance to face the Mexican star. However, Canelo maintains that a victory over Crawford would do little to enhance his legacy, even though many believe Crawford has a genuine chance to pull off the win. If anyone can do it and pull it off. It's Crawford, so you can't tell him no, said Jones. I was the kind of fighter who, if someone said they were better than me, and if I could get close to your weight, here I come. I gave John Ruiz 33 pounds when I won the heavyweight title in 2003. I didn't care. I wanted to prove that I was pound for pound the best and to achieve something historic that had never been done. That's likely how Bud feels right now. He wants to make history and solidify his legacy in boxing. Who wouldn't want to see the pound for pound best from yesterday fight the pound for pound best from today? It's a mega fight. If he puts on the muscle and weight, how can you doubt him? One thing is for sure. He's going to go out there and fight, not just collect a paycheck. Bud will fight to win because that's who he is. If he carries the weight, it'll be a great fight. He can box like Floyd Mayweather and fight aggressively. He hits and doesn't get hit. If he can withstand the punches at that weight, he'll likely win the fight. Jones, who fluctuated in weight during the latter half of his career as a 4-division title holder, believes Alvarez should continue his career at super middleweight. It's definitely best that Alvarez stays at 168. I didn't understand why he went up to 175 to fight Dmitry Bivol, Jones said. He had already beaten Sergey Kovalev, who was at the end of his career. Bivol was in the middle of his prime. They are two different animals. He got the crusher at the right time. Go back down and dominate where you're comfortable. Lightning isn't going to strike twice. Additionally, former 2-weight world champion Andre Ward has shared his thoughts on a potential super fight between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Bud has been targeting Canelo ever since his career-defining performance last year against welterweight rival Errol Spence Jr. Although the Mexican initially dismissed the fight, he recently admitted he would be open to defending his super middleweight titles against the naturally smaller Crawford, if the money is right. Speaking on the All the Smoke podcast, Andre Ward, who retired with a perfect record of 32 wins from 32 fights, shared the two matchups he most wants to see in boxing. I want to see Canelo fighting Terence Crawford or David Benavidez. You have two choices. You can face someone in your weight class, or you can try and challenge the smaller guy, Terence Crawford. On the potential Crawford-Canelo clash, Andre Ward shared that his money would be on the fighter who last competed at 3 weight classes lower. I'm not betting against Terence right now, against anybody, Ward said. Talking about the most skilled fighters in the game today, he added, Crawford is someone you can bet your house on. Somebody I can bet the house on is Bud. Me and him are very similar in mentality. He's skillful, yes, but it's his heart and mind that set him apart. There aren't many fighters like that right now. There are plenty of guys who talk a big game, but until you step into that real fight, I'm not talking about a guy you're supposed to beat. I'm talking about a 50/50 matchup. That's when we truly see what you have.
Wrestling, anything, bro. Like, man, you can't, man, you looking small. What you mean I'm looking small? You looking small. Like, it's just that, like, you gotta really hurt that dude.
He's different. He's a dog, Stevenson said, referencing what excites him about Crawford. That's the kind of stuff that gets me out of my seat. It means when you need to be that guy, you can be that guy. Shakur Stevenson, who famously refers to Crawford as his big brother, also believes Terence Crawford would defeat Canelo Alvarez if they ever fought. Despite conceding a 14-pound weight disadvantage to the Mexican superstar, Stevenson doesn't see it as an issue. Unlike Charlo, Canelo insists he has no interest in facing Crawford due to the size difference. However, Stevenson argues that skills win fights, not size. He firmly believes Bud has the winning formula with his southpaw stance, excellent movement, and solid fundamentals, making him a serious threat to Canelo.
Beat Canelo. Like I said, I've been saying this. I don't think size win fights. I think skills do. Yeah, I think like being a southpaw with good movement and sharp boxing, it'd be hard for Canelo with that high guard to walk him down and load up on them big hooks. I think Bud would beat Canelo.
When speaking about Crawford's next steps to IFL TV, Stevenson said Terence Crawford is running things right now. As for who he should face next, Stevenson expressed a strong desire to see Crawford go up against Charlo. Facing Charlo is a strange and unprecedented arrangement. Although Charlo is already set to fight Canelo, Stevenson genuinely believes Crawford could defeat Canelo. Being a southpaw with exceptional movement and solid boxing skills, Crawford would present a difficult challenge for Canelo, who would struggle to walk Crawford down and land his powerful hooks. I wish Charlo wasn't fighting Canelo, but it is what it is. I think Bud could beat Canelo. I'd love to see it because at the end of the day, I don't think size wins fights. I think skills do. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford is one of the most highly anticipated fights in boxing today. With Saudi Arabia's increasing involvement in the sport, it seems more likely than ever that this dream match could happen. Trainer Robert Garcia spoke about Canelo's potential advantage over Crawford, highlighting his experience and skill. Garcia also addressed Crawford's situation, suggesting that if he doesn't secure a fight against Canelo soon, the Omaha boxer may consider retiring.
No, because the way Crawford is doing it is because he knows it's the biggest payday in his life, and he'll never. Maybe what he could get against Canelo, he's never made in all his fights combined.
Crawford is a smart man. He's already accomplished everything he set out to achieve, Garcia said in an interview with Fight Hype. He's done a lot. He doesn't need to challenge himself anymore. He doesn't have to prove anything to anyone. Garcia went on to say that Crawford is focused on that big fight against Canelo, and if he doesn't get it, he may never fight again. While Crawford has many options in the junior middleweight division, the most notable is WBC and WBO champion Sebastian Fundora. Other potential opponents include IVF champion Bakram Murtazaliev, as well as names like Jermell Charlo, Virgil Ortiz Jr., Sergey Bohakchuk, and Xander Zayas. Interview 16, Part 3.
So of course, why would he call up Benavidez when he's calling up Canelo knowing that he's going to make double the money?
Because he wants to fight at 68, that's why.
So that's why.
For Robert Garcia, Crawford no longer needs to pursue another fight. With his exceptional career and unbeaten record, he has nothing left to prove. He's already achieved it, Garcia explained. Garcia believes that if Crawford were driven purely by money, he wouldn't need to fight again, as he has taken care of his fortune and has investments to support him. The only reason Crawford would return to the ring is to face Canelo and end his career on a high note. Her answer was, he's going to go out there and look for the big fight, enjoy his life, Garcia said. He's a very smart man. He's invested his money. He doesn't need to fight again, but he's still chasing that big fight against Canelo. If he gets it, he'll take it. But other than that, he might never fight again.
Why? You know why. He wants to make the biggest fucking payday.
Does he have a chance in the fight?
Everybody has a chance, but I think he'll put up some good rounds. I think he loses to Canelo, but he'll put up good rounds, better than Charlo did.
If the fight takes place against the Guadalajara boxer, Garcia believes Crawford can hold his own against Canelo for several rounds. Maybe not enough to beat him, but enough to earn his respect and that of the public. I think Crawford could give good rounds, Garcia said. The first 6 to 8 rounds would be very competitive. Crawford has the skills, strength, speed, and power to challenge Canelo. He could earn Canelo's respect and show the world what he's capable of. However, former WBO and WBC light welterweight champion Tim Bradley doesn't believe anyone else can derail the Crawford train. He feels that Crawford himself is the only one who can end his dominant reign in the sport.
Crawford, Canelo.
He'll probably get stopped and get knocked out, but he'll put up some good rounds. Yeah, but he'll.
The plans for a fight between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford seem to remain more of a dream than a reality. The biggest obstacle isn't just agreeing on a multi-million-dollar purse, as even if Turki Ali offers Canelo the highest payday of his career, he may still remain inflexible. However, Garcia acknowledges that eventually Canelo's size and strength may prove to be too much. But for those 6 rounds, I think it would be a very entertaining fight, he concluded.
I don't think we've seen anything like Terence Crawford.
In all my years of boxing, I know that for a fact. I do study history. I've never seen anybody that has everything.
I think the only person who could beat Crawford is himself at this point. Bradley told Fight Hype recently. Canelo is the champion and he must be respected, but skill for skill, Crawford all day. I believe he would do well against Canelo. Would I be nervous if they fought? Hell yeah, because Canelo can punch, and it only takes one big shot, long as Crawford uses his legs, athleticism, and defense to avoid that. He should be able to beat Canelo, Bradley said. Interestingly, Bradley believes Crawford could outbox Canelo, similar to how Floyd Mayweather Jr. did 11 years ago when he defeated the Mexican star at a catchweight in 2013 when Canelo was just 22 years old.
Good speed, power, timing, can switch the way he switches, to have the toughness, the meanness that he has, the way he finishes guys, the way he breaks down guys.
Crawford is about to turn 37 and has never fought above 147. Moving up in weight to 168 without facing top contenders presents a significant challenge. More fans might agree with Bradley if Crawford were focused on proving himself at 160 against the best middleweights, or at 168 to show he can compete at a higher level. Fans perceive Crawford as being in a rush to secure a massive payday against Canelo, aiming for a golden parachute to enjoy a luxurious retirement.
He's one of the smartest guys that I've ever seen in the ring, right up there with Floyd Mayweather. So yeah, I would pick Terence Crawford to beat a Canelo Alvarez, even at 168.
This is the problem. Crawford fought against Jermall Charlo, who came in at 154, Bradley told Fight Hype. Reacting to Canelo Alvarez's statement that he has no interest in fighting welterweight Terence Crawford because there's nothing to gain, Bradley said, Jermall moved up a couple of weight divisions to fight Canelo, and he essentially went in there and survived. He didn't show he belonged on Canelo's level. The difference, according to Bradley, is Crawford's mentality. He's a top pound-for-pound guy, Bradley said. However, we don't know if Crawford would be any different from Jermall Charlo because he's not actively testing himself against top super middleweights to give fans a reference point.
Everybody can call me crazy and whatever you want to say. I get it. You got to believe me when I told you about Spence. But trust me, Crawford will figure out a way.
If Crawford chose to prove himself against fighters like David Benavidez or David Morrell, there would be no doubt about his commitment. Instead, by focusing solely on a payday against Canelo without prior matchups at 168, it becomes clear that this is about money and nothing else. Bradley emphasizes that Charlo was never considered a top pound-for-pound fighter, but Crawford's skill set is what sets him apart. Crawford is a competitor, and he's been after Canelo, Bradley said. He wants to fight Canelo, and I believe he'll do well against him. I really do.
I know a secret y'all don't know, and I ain't gonna tell you why I would pick Terence Crawford, but it's part of the secret is the reason why I'm picking him to win the fight. So,
Is it like a skill set? Is it like a preparation thing, or?
Nope, I'm not.
Am I nervous about the fight? Hell yeah, because Canelo can punch. That dude can hit, and all it takes is one shot. Facing a fighter like Terence, who is moving up 3 weight classes, presents a challenge. However, just like we saw with Floyd Mayweather, who outboxed Canelo in 2013 when Canelo was 22, Bradley believes Crawford could do the same, outbox and outthink him. But using Mayweather as an example, Bradley argues that Crawford has the potential to overcome Canelo's size disadvantage. But as he acknowledges, we still don't know if that holds up against Canelo, who fought welterweight Mayweather at 154.
Just gonna put it like this. If the fight was to happen, you will see.
Because a lot of people think Terence can't compete.
But it wasn't a situation where Mayweather moved up to 168 and fought a prime version of Canelo at full strength. However, Bradley has more evidence supporting Crawford. I think Crawford has the ability to outbox him, outthink him, make him miss, and make him pay, Bradley said. As long as Crawford isn't getting hit too often and continues to rely on his legs, athleticism, and defense to evade shots, he should be able to defeat Canelo.
Once he touches Canelo, because he's been hit by bigger guys, he's not going to, I don't want to say show him respect, but he's going to be able to go, okay, I could walk through this. I could take a little risk and set up my traps, cut the ring off, dig to the body, and wear Terence down over the rounds.
I'll tell you like this.
Canelo has a good jab, quickness, and throws a lot of hooks, but Crawford just needs to avoid those and get underneath them. If he does, he should be able to beat Canelo. We're basing this on what Charlo was able to do, but Charlo didn't do much. He was hesitant and didn't want to get knocked out. I understand his caution, but if you aim to be great, you have to take risks. Crawford is daring to be great, and I believe he can do it, Bradley said. While Canelo hasn't paid much attention to the challenge, fans have, and opinions are divided. Even Sean Porter, who knows what Crawford is capable of, has expressed concern about the potential matchup.
The others say, like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds.
That's all for now for the latest updates, news, aha moments, and action in the world of boxing. Stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you get alerted every time we drop new quality content like this. Until next time, peace out.